Hello YouTubers and welcome to Barrymar TV. Today I'm with Tony Walsh, a real Covey. And is it true, Tony, you have to be born in Westport to be a true Covey?
Oh, you have to be, yeah, you have to be, no blow-ins.
And I believe you were raised on Castlebar Street.
I was, surely.
And the parents moved up to Father Angela's Park.
Angela's Park, yeah.
And what number were you there, Tony?
25, number 25.
25. So you played in the green.
Oh, I did.
Did you? I heard
with,
you.
With Ned Blake.
Ned Blake.
Con Cusick.
Con.
Paddy Clavey.
Paddy Clavey.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I'd say there was there a few black eyes and bruised knees, and I heard you could play back then.
Oh, it was 21 aside. Yeah. When you came, you just joined.
And what about all the other lads from Castlebar? Would they come over?
Oh, well, that was in the league, like.
Oh, that was in the league.
Yeah, but there was 5 teams. Angela's Park had a team, Key Hearts, the town, Textile, and Seaview. There was 5 soccer teams in Westport.
And I'd say it was dawn to dusk there. I'd say the mother was calling you out the window and it was gone dark. I'd say.
Well, you'd be in the gardens that time setting potatoes and cabbage, and the father would say, the ball would just rattle. He'd say, go, because I'll have no comfort with you.
Yeah, your hearts were in the football. Oh God, and there were more organic times, Tony. There were nice times then compared to now, like.
They were more simple. We had a little corner shop down Joan English's at the end of the road, and it wasn't a pound of rashers, it was 3 rashers and a can of oil, for paraffin oil.
Oh, for the lamp.
For cooking it, a little Primus stove.
And did you get to do any turf back then, or?
No, you see, you were away from the.
Yeah, but and I suppose the biggest link to the land was the spuds, as you were saying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I suppose you grew up then. And where are you based now, Tony?
Fahy.
Fahy. Yeah. Did you marry a woman down there, or did you?
An Island 80 woman.
Well, they're good, strong women, Island 80 women, and she kept you on the straight and narrow.
Oh, very much so.
Very much so, and no more than myself, we'd be lost without a good, strong woman. Well, I don't know about you, I can't cook, so when you can't cook, the woman has all the power. And would you take a pint, Tony?
Oh, several of them when I was young, but you know, you cop on. There's nothing like an old Aegis drink, I say.
Well,
a
yeah.
Aegis is soft.
Yeah, a young Aegis has a lot to learn. An old Aegis knows when to stop. And I suppose as a young fella, I don't know, did you ever know a man called Porrick Coyne from Leenan? Did you ever know him?
I heard of him.
Would you believe he used to drink in Hoban's pub, and he used to come into Leenan from into town from Leenan on horseback. And where was your haunt back in the day, Tony, in Westport Town?
The pavilion.
The pavilion. And you'd be going courting there.
Oh, that was the spot, yeah.
The court there. And what big acts did you see there, Tony?
Oh, there was a band from Derry, the Big Four. They were absolutely geniuses.
They were.
Yeah, and then, when of course when the TF opened, it was all the big bands, all the big show bands. The Capital Show Band, Dickie Rock and Brendan Boyer and all these boys.
Oh no, they were top of the pops.
Oh, they were.
Of that day.
Oh, they were. Oh, they were.
And I suppose you'd have been more. I was told before you'd have been more into the dancing than the alcohol then.
Oh yeah, there was very little alcohol. There was no money.
And I suppose when you were living in town, you could walk home.
Walk home.
You were stones. You were stones throw.
From 25 Angela's Park.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to go around the road. You went down across the field.
And did you know Ollie Hopkins up there?
I did. Ollie and Massey and all the Hopkinses.
Ollie, I have to say, he's a painter now and he's an absolute gentleman.
Yeah, he is.
I worked with him in Allergan in my time. Yeah. And the rings, you knew all the rings.
I knew all the rings.
Michael and
Johnny. There was a lot. So they were a good bit younger than me now.
Oh, but I heard they could play a bit of football in their day.
They were good footballers.
They were good footballers, and my neighbour up there, and good friend Kevin Ring, he can, and a man in his 50s, and he can still play a bit of football.
Oh, yeah.
And he still goes. And did life ever bring you over to England, Tony?
No, just I was in England several times, but I never went to work in it.
I suppose the heartstrings were pulled for home all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And how did you make a crust, Tony?
I started off in a little shop up on the Quay Road, belonged to Liam Lyons' father.
Oh, Liam Lyons' father, yeah.
Yeah, I worked for him in a little corner shop there with a famous footballer from Chris Kane.
Oh, Chris, I heard stories about him. Jeez, he could play.
He was a footballer. Himself and Sean McLaughlin were the two best footballers I've seen wearing the Westport United jersey.
And what can you remind people again his name? Sean
McLaughlin.
Sean McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And did he die recently, or?
He did, yeah.
Oh, that's the write up that was in the Mail News.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He
was by all accounts.
He went to England for
brilliant.
trials, and he was brilliant. Yeah.
And he was such a good man for grassroots football, especially for Westport United.
He was a gentleman as well.
He was, yeah. By all accounts, he was a gentleman.
Tony Brown was another. He lived in Feather Angeles Park as well.
Tony Brown, and it's good to give him a notable mention. And did you spend many years, Tony, in the shop?
About 2, and then I moved to John Gibbons's, where you pulled the chain to let the money up and down.
Oh, right.
You don't remember that?
Oh, I don't, Tony, no. No, I'm a 70s child now.
Oh,
and by saying that, I feel old by saying that, but I don't.
I'm 40s.
Oh, you're a 40s child. Well, geez, I tell you, I wouldn't give you that age, Tony. You're a fresh man. Herself must have been cooking you good food.
Oh yeah, the very best.
The good food and the odd pint.
You see me getting there now.
Yeah. And just to tell everyone here, myself and Tony were in the Lidl down here in Westport. I don't know, is it Lidl or Aldi? I keep getting confused. But the two of us, I got talking to Tony, and I commented on the fine head of cabbage in his trolley. And we got talking. That's how we got talking. And didn't I tell the wife? No, look at Tony there. He had a nice head of cabbage, and we got a bit of bacon, and we got a bit of the turnip. And when will you tackle that, Tony? Maybe Monday or Tuesday.
Tomorrow morning.
Well, they'll give you plenty of soakage now before you'd have a pint. So Tony, I tell you, thanks for the conversation. And it just goes to show you, you'll never know who you'll meet in these supermarkets.
No.
And thanks for talking about all the memories, and we'll say good luck. Thanks, Tony.